cheesy goodness of a cheeseburger, but in a spring roll. Cooked perfectly. If you aren't mixing your foods to create epic food fusions, now that should be illegal. Let's get into it. Today we're making cheeseburger spring rolls. Cooking time for this recipe will be 30 minutes. That's as quick as 30, 29, 3, 2, 1. Or for those of you who love to use my beer timer, you're looking at a 1 beer cook. Cheers. Yeah, you heard correctly. Cheeseburger spring rolls, and we're cooking them in a Weber kettle. To make a good tasting cheeseburger, we need to start with some tasty beef. So it's off to see me out at Gippsland Premium Meats to grab 500 grams of my beef mince. That is a 50-50 mix of coarsely minced brisket and chuck steak. This creates the perfect 70% meat to 30% fat ratio for full flavoured beef mince. This just needs to go into a bowl. Beef in a bowl, you've just made a meat eater's salad. Beef mince alone won't pass for a cheeseburger. What we need to do is add some stuff to it. Like cheese, how about 250 grams of tasty cheese? All cheeseburgers have diced onion, so half a diced onion, white or brown, red, purple, green, I don't care. Have you ever been served a cheeseburger with the sauce on the side? No, neither have I. So let's put it in the burger mince like it belongs. So into the bowl, also add half a cup of American yellow mustard and quarter a cup of ketchup and 2 tablespoons of gherkin relish. This stuff, and half a teaspoon of salt. Next up, we just need to glove up and then just mix this up so all the ingredients are thoroughly combined. And then once you have something that is the colour and consistency that would come out of you at 3 a.m. after a hard night on the piss, you're done. Yes, that's correct. The sauce is inside of these. Trust me, if you don't like them, 100% money back within 30 days. On to the spring roll part of the cook. These spring roll sheets come frozen. On the back, they all state to let them defrost or thaw out. Same thing, but no instructions for how long. And I see a lot of people struggling with them online, breaking, drying out. So here's my go-to method on how to do this properly. Throw these sheets into your fridge the night before, and then remove them from the fridge about half an hour before needing them. After half an hour, you want to open up the packaging, and then we're going to take them out of the packaging and we're going to wrap them in a damp tea towel and then nuke them for 30 seconds in a microwave. And after that, they will now be soft, pliable, and easy to work with, and they won't dry out and crack. Just keep them wrapped up in the damp tea towel in between making each one. Now the reason I do it this way is because during the thawing out process, the sheets actually do dry out a bit, and a lot of people have dramas rolling them up with some cracking. By putting them in a damp tea towel and in a microwave for 30 seconds, you're steaming them and putting a little bit of that moisture back into them. If you don't own a microwave, walk out of your cave and go and buy one. We will need some cheese slices to go with our cheeseburger spring rolls. Any burger cheese will do. They're all a high melt cheese, generally because they're a cheddar base. And we're going to need some egg wash, and it's pretty easy to make. Grab 1 egg, crack it, and put the contents of it into a small bowl. The eggshell though, you can discard, we won't need that. Grab a fork, any fork, your favourite fork, and whisk up the egg. Ta-da! It's time to start making these spring rolls up. So we're going to lay out 1 sheet of the spring roll paper, covering the rest back up. And we're going to place 1 piece of cheese on the corner facing you, leaving a gap on either edge of around 2.5 centimetres. I like to use a measuring cup of about 1/3 of a cup And that is the mince that we're going to use. You just want to shape that to the corners of the cheese slice. Grab the corner that's facing you and firmly wrap it over. Then tuck the sides in. Grabbing your egg wash, you just want to brush that last corner, and this is just going to help it all stick together. And there you have it, a cheeseburger spring roll. It's just not cooked yet. Keep making up all of the cheeseburger spring rolls until you run out of mixture. And it's important to keep remembering between making the spring rolls to keep covering with the damp cloth so they don't dry out. Once you've made them all up, it's time for a drink. Or cook them, the choice is yours. Today I'm using a 57cm Weber kettle, and I'm pairing it up with a kettle cone and Heat Bead's original briquettes because I want to be cooking indirectly with a heat of 240 degrees Celsius today. And how I'll do that is by placing the kettle cone in the middle of the charcoal grate, then 3/4 fill a chimney starter with the briquettes, light them up. Once they're all lashed over, I'm going to dump them into the kettle cone. Don't forget to carefully put your grill back in and pop the lid back on, making sure all the vents are wide open, and we're going to give that 10 minutes to warm up. Did you know a preheated grill ceases to be cold once it's warm? The things you learn due to science. You're welcome. Once the grill's had 10 minutes to warm up, we can give the grill a light spray with some cooking oil. What this will do will help create a non-stick surface and create a bit of smoke too. Also spray the cheeseburger spring rolls with the cooking spray. Don't forget to flip them over. And spray the other side as well. Place the spring rolls around the outer edge of the cooking grate, as this is where that high heat from that kettle cone is forced. Put the lid back on and let that kettle cone do its thing. When cooking any type of minced meat, you need to cook the internal temp to 74 degrees Celsius to be considered safe to eat. Or don't and die, the choice is yours. If you didn't know, the Weber lid vent creates a hot spot. As the cold oxygen is sucked in through the bowl vents up and around our fuel, it is then forced back out through this lid vent. So to ensure an even cook, I recommend turning the lid 1/3 of the way every 10 minutes during the cook. If you weren't aware, spinning your lid was invented back in Rome 200 BC. Look, there's a pie graph to prove it. The cheeseburger spring rolls are ready, so we can get these tasty treats off the grill. Now try not to dig in straight away as you're dealing with molten meat and, as you can see, a lot of fat, so get them off quick. These will be like cheesy napalm, they will stick to your mouth and they will burn it. So let them cool down. I introduce to you the barbecued cheeseburger spring roll. Now because we've added the sauce into them, we don't need a dipping sauce. And we've ensured that they stay nice, smut. Tasty looking smut. Hey! Cheesy goodness of a cheeseburger, but in a spring roll. Cooked perfectly. Now after a couple of minutes of cooling down, you can dig in and enjoy them. It's a cheeseburger in a spring roll.